We had the opportunity to discuss Bitcoin and a Golden Cross ARK ETF in this video. They're accumulating their stock, Davos Secretary, and their remarks regarding the regulatory landscape. Will discuss the IPO pipeline in the UAE and the major announcements made by Dubai regarding the region during Davos here in the United States. In March, Brad Garlinghouse messed up there will be a cryptocurrency boom. With 2 months to go, this analyst believes I've got you covered, so let's get started with this Bitcoin now. It's down again, oh no. Ethereum is down at $42,715, down 1.17%. With USDC on the horizon, 4% at $2,550 is still 99. XRP is attempting to rebound a little bit at the dollar peg and is currently at 57 cents, making up 1.6% of the entire cryptocurrency market capitalization over the last 24 hours. Simply flash green. We're looking at 1.7 trillion people, and I think that before we see that push down, there will be some sideways consolidation. Upward of $30,000. After it has occurred, we will review and evaluate our observations and discussions from earlier. People in their 30s should pay attention, as I am referring to this market in a way that I have never referred to a market before. Lux Lions, these are virtually gone right now. You must take action right away. You must enter at this time. Before the release of the announcement. Before Lux Lions becomes a global enterprise, which is about to happen, everyone is in a state of shock. I'm alerting you to the impending news. Perhaps a tiny bit, a tiny nugget, will be unveiled in Vegas on February 3rd when I'm on stage discussing Lux Lions with several celebrities and investors. Perhaps if you focus. Folks, because it's going to be pay-per-view. And it will be broadcast via for just $165. You can learn a little bit about Lux in the metaverse. I have no idea what you do for sleep, and while you can, try to get as many as you can. Since these items will eventually disappear. If you purchase a pair today, you will receive 30% back in XRP every month based on the project's monthly revenue. Every year, you still receive an XRP from 1 point is now accepted on a credit card or Deluxe LXRP. Yes, hold on to your XRP. It should not be given credit. Go ahead, that's the main reason my credit card application was approved. People, Golden Cross Bitcoin is aiming for its very first weekly Golden Cross. The price of Bitcoin has crossed over its 200-week simple moving average, SMA, at 50E. Here is the chart that shows the days the old Golden Cross people are looking at for the first time. What does this mean? Yes, it does. It's showing that the asset price has changed favorably. Pay attention to it now that this market has finally surfaced on the weekly price chart for Bitcoin. Does a golden crust truly represent anything? It indicates that price activity will occur. It makes little difference if ARK buys back 15 points or, as I should put it, purchases $15.9 million worth of its own Bitcoin ETF. ARK sold shares, and the Porch shares a Bitcoin strategy for a comparable sum of $15.8 million. The U.S. ARK Investment Board's futures market is the first exchange-traded fund, ETF, linked to Bitcoin. Cathie Wood investment firm added $15.9 million worth of shares on Tuesday, including 365,427 shares of the Arcade and 21 shares of the Bitcoin ETF. It's interesting to note why they are repurchasing their own ETF, folks. Of course, let Davos know. That's Jeremy, SEC. For those of you who are unaware that they will discuss the SEC and the regulatory landscape in the U.S., we must be about to move into 2 minutes, so have a listen. Since Diana Enriquez just released a fantastic new book titled Taming the Street, I'd like to briefly mention it. As long as 3 or 4 decades are known to you, she writes about the 1930s, the 33 Act, and the 40 Act for the SEC as a financial writer. And as anyone who recalls the stock market fall will recall, we were calling bankers, and FDR organized the Securities Exchange Communications Mission. Joe Kennedy was the manager he hired. Declared that a fox would take over as leader of the hen house because he was well versed in the business. They also constructed the framework. However, Joe Kennedy's initial action was to approach the bankers, whom he then approached through this panel and asked, "All right, what's going on? Not at all. Where are the FTXs? Where are the issues in the industry, and how can we work together to solve the issues?" Collectively, and after that, they constructed the SEC's framework, which at the time the ability to be transparent was a defining feature. The danger you might expose someone to, a security measure, or anything else, but you need to consider the bigger picture. And I believe that the main issue facing the U.S. economy at the moment is the lack of trust that exists between the industry and the regulators, not the legislators necessarily, as I believe the latter to be somewhat ignorant about the industry when I speak with them. However, I'm just wondering if we might go back to the initial standard when there was some cooperation. Right now, certain industry lobbyists oppose the idea of an industry self-regulatory organization, while others in business want one. I am unsure of the opinions held here, but I can assure you that the self-regulatory organization to which I am required to report to FINRA has performed a very good job of slowing down fraud and forcing people into compliance. Therefore, I am just wondering if it would be possible to return to the original framework regarding digital assets and bring individuals such as the August panelists back to places like Washington, where they can identify the bad actors, who the good actors are, and if I were regulating myself or others in this industry, this is what we would do. Unfortunately, we are no longer doing that, which is unfortunate. We also just touched on it in the opening video of the SEC today, and it seems that people want Gensler fired, since they claim he isn't performing his duties. Pipeline, I promise not to play you like this. Need to panic, but let me simply explain. By 2024, Fintech is expected to see several different initial public offerings, IPOs. IPO, we're about to ride the hype train, Sarah Circle. I do not believe Ripple will go this far. Sincerely speaking, I believe we will have to wait until the SEC completes the last component of the institutional sales process, which might take until 2025. Ripple's IPO is visible to us. As Brand told us, there's no urgency. Nevertheless, in the interim, a lot of fintech companies in Dubai will be preparing for their initial public offerings. How are we doing? Because of the restrictions in place, the UAE is promoting innovation and creativity in the private sector, enabling it to advance to the next phase well ahead of anybody else. For this reason, Ripple was a sponsor of the Dubai Fintech Summit in 2023. UAE, Dubai, and XRP are closely collaborating. After seeing this clip, which is incredibly effective, watch what I have to show you next. Diligently to ensure that innovation, creativity, and digitalization, all of which are occurring annually, are present. To make everyone's life easier, but simultaneously, I would say that in this region of the world, looking ahead and maybe making a leapfrog about certain aspects that, in a lot more developed nations, have taken a long time, and how they are moving to the next level far sooner than anywhere else. Okay, so you've heard that fintech is going to have a bright future, and they're prepared to throw caution to the wind. Cryptographic regulations are prepared to be implemented. Where will Brad be when we relocate to Ticker on May 6th? Brad will be speaking at the Dubai Fintech Summit on May 7th. Indeed, I wonder why. Everyone, we've just heard the footage. Will anyone else be present? British-born Hob Capital co-founding partner, the US-based Deputy Managing Director of the International Monetary Authority, and finally CEO Brad Garlinghouse. Everything is unfolding at Ripple. Cap of James rules cryptocurrency. If we just see a jump in population of 1 trillion in 2024, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies will rise by over $1 trillion. A loss has occurred. It's a large, ancient L. That wouldn't even get us to 1.71, it would hardly get us over the all-time high, therefore, it's fat loss, right? The overall market value of cryptocurrencies will be close to $3 trillion. He claims that the all-time high was 2.7, but he says he thinks that was in March. The market is about to enter a bull market. Claims that the bull market has only just begun. Price activity in 2024 will be erratic, but I still anticipate we'll reach or surpass the all-time high market capitalization of Bitcoin in the whole cryptocurrency complex by year's end. He's advocating for it because the market capitalization of digital assets is 1.76 trillion, meaning that to reach the all-time high, which was attained on November 9, 2021, we would need to raise it by 1.34 trillion. He is pondering. He claims that March is projecting that the market will probably decline. That's correct. The Fed may intervene to add additional liquidity to the market in March. This tends to cause risky assets like Bitcoin to rally. Concerning the Bitcoin being as of late, is it not true that all the pieces are in place? There are a lot of unkind people calling, in my opinion.